Farm Credit of Western Kansas presents Open Spaces Sports Shorts with Rich Epp.
Well, Coach, you did have a good season last year. If I remember correctly, you qualified for the state tournament in your volleyball team. And talk a little bit about how that would help this year's team and future teams making that state tournament appearance.
Well, I think it's a culture that you create. It's one of those, everybody wants to be part of that winning program, and I think we've kind of set ourselves up for, this is my 5th year as head coach, and I think every year we've kind of pushed towards that to create that kind of culture, and I think it's just one of those that Rawlins County Volleyball is the team that you want to be part of, because we're going to be competitive and we're going to try to succeed and get to that state tournament, and now that they've had a taste of it, I think it's just going to continue to feed that hunger.
Leadership. Every coach looks for leadership on their teams. Where does yours come from?
Actually, I kind of expect it out of all of my girls. No matter who's on the floor, you know, everybody needs to be a leader at any given time. But there's always those key players that play a role, and you know, we've got some seniors that like that are going to step up. I think, you know, we've got Angie Singate returning. Jordan Fields has always been a good support, but we also have some juniors with Kristen Beckman and Bria Lankus and just some other, you know, good players that are going to make an impact as far as being leaders on the floor and on the bench.
Things are a little bit different in terms of preparation for the season. The Activity Association said no more 2-a-days for any sports in the fall.
Yep.
You can go 1 3-hour practice a day. How has that changed in your approach to the opening week of practice?
Well, considering we just started, it's a matter of we're practicing it during game time, times that we're going to be playing and competing, so they get acclimated to that time. And it's just, as a coach, it's trying to figure out, you know, how you're going to break up those 3 hours, because 3 hours is a tough haul instead of breaking it up to 2-hour ones. Did you ask your kids to prepare in terms of getting into shape before practice has started, actually, or not? Yes. We have a Facebook page, and I kindly reminded them to start using their cardio before we showed up for practice. Did they, most of them? I saw them out. I think I saw a few of them, but they understand my expectations, and they know the consequences that's going to come if they don't come prepared. Outside of yourself, I mean, people have talked about Rawlins County Volleyball as being probably the favorite in the league to some degree. There's other good programs, obviously, in this conference. How do you see the conference this year? To be honest with you, I'm worried about us, because, you know, we've got one girl that's not going to be able to be back with us till the end of the season. But it's one of those, I thought we could have been favored for the league tournament last year, and then we forgot to show up. So it kind of one of those, we've got to decide to show up every single match, every single time. I'd like to think, since we have a little bit more experience with the state tournament, that yes, we are the favored one at league, but we've got to do our job first. The classification is different. I think there's 1A, you're in 1A, I believe. We will. There were not 2 divisions in 1A, so you're in 1A. Is it going to be tougher to get to the state tournament? Honestly, I agree with the classifications, because my philosophy is it doesn't matter who you are. If you can't beat somebody, then you don't deserve to go. So I think the split classifications was ridiculous. Either you're good enough to beat them or you're not, and that's the end of the story. So it doesn't bother me a bit. All right, Coach. Good luck to you. Thank you. We'll be following the Buffaloes throughout the season on Open Spaces Sports. It's brought to you by Farm Credit of Western Kansas, and also, of course, the fine sponsors throughout the Atwood community. Rich Epp for OpenSpacesSports.com.